Dwayne Johnson pays emotional tribute to friend and childhood hero Hulk Hogan following his death. Dwayne Johnson paid touching tribute on Instagram to his friend and childhood hero Hulk Hogan early Friday, the day after the pro wrestling legend died at age 71. Rip. My brother HH. Johnson penned in a lengthy post on Friday, July 25th. To millions of small children, you were a childhood hero, including myself. Johnson, known as The Rock in the Ring, continued on, telling a story about catching Hulk Hogan's Hulkster headband during a 1984 match at Madison Square Garden after the 12-time world champion hurled it into the audience. When you threw it out to the crowd, I was the lucky kid that caught it, Johnson recalled. You were wrestling Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff that night in the main event. You were so surprised and happy after the match because you were telling me that that was your last headband and that without me you had no way to get that exact one made for you again. You told me if you got more made that you would get me a Hulkster headband of my very own as a thank you. Johnson, whose father was part of the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, with Hogan at the time, said his hero kept his promise. You did that a month later in Madison Square Garden. And you honored, with a handshake and a thanks, kid, Johnson remembered. And that meant the world to that little 12-year-old boy. Johnson would later enter the WWE in 1996, embarking on his own storied professional wrestling career and becoming one of the hottest stars of the 1990s and 2000s. As The Rock, Johnson secured a total of 10 world championships over the course of his career, including challenge at WrestleMania 18 in Toronto against Hogan, headlined as Icon vs. Icon. I have always gone on record and said that Johnson and Hogan was the greatest WrestleMania match in history, the longtime WWE announcer Michael Cole told SportsCenter on Thursday. It was Hogan versus The Rock, 68,000 strong. I had never heard an arena so loud, Cole recalled. That moment was so crucial for the professional wrestling business because it was truly symbolic of the torch being passed from one iconic figure, Hogan, to the next iconic figure, The Rock, in one of the greatest moments in the history of WrestleMania. Johnson would go on to win the match, and he and Hogan hugged center ring, toasting the fans after the match ended. I've never had that happen anywhere, anybody's entire wrestling career, Johnson said of the match Thursday night, in his tribute to Hogan on Friday. It takes two to tango, but that old crowd roar reference was all for you. You may have passed the torch to me that night, but no, my friend, you still have got that torch in your hand, because you made it possible for guys like me to come in here and have a career, because every time you went into the ring, you drew the house, which is why you sold out every arena and every stadium all around the world as Hulk Hogan and why you are still the greatest of all time. Johnson concluded, from the bottom of my heart, and over the years you have broken so many of them, on behalf of this wild and unpredictable world of professional wrestling, to share with me and my family, I love you, I thank you, I will always be yours. Right here, I say to you, thank you for the house, brother. Thank you for the house.